I'm gonna try this again. You really wouldn't think it would. You really wouldn't think the entire thing would just black out. Up. And there we go! The entire battery low thing! That's wrong, chess. I already put all that stuff into the chest. Let me get using stem. There we go. Yeah, fences. Fences and gates. Acacia. Dark. Mangrove. Cherry. Pale. What the? A window legit just opened and then immediately closed. Task manager, what do you have to say about that? What the hell is this? What is hydrogen techniques? What? I'm gonna have to skim through that. Select. Fresh. There we go. Building copper storage. So the main function is being built. But let me just do a real fast. Actually, I'm gonna get. Hmm. Actually, you know what? Instead of a wood chest, I'm gonna make that a minerals chest. I just unlocked so much stuff in crafting. I'm gonna make that minerals, like materials chest. Just to make it easier for me to sort. Coal, copper, iron, gold, emerald, lapis, diamonds, ancient debris, quartz, amethyst. I could put the nuggets in there. I'm going to put the nuggets in there. All three of the nuggets. The ingots. Scrap and netherite. So some of this stuff, like the copper, that'll be real easy, and I'll fill up a bunch of slots that you need. Flint. I would sort bones, strings, feathers, eggs, and stuff like that into mobs, like mob loot. And I think that's it in terms of materials. Redstone. I think that would go in its own designated chest, but there's also the blocks. for all of these. We could just block of bamboo, coal block, iron block, gold block. Redstone block will go in a redstone chest, emerald block, lapis block, diamond block, netherite block. I don't know how you'd sort that into it, but that's fine. Quartz block, quartz. That can't actually be decrafted, I don't think. Let me not throw that in there. Keep quartz. I want to see if that can be decrafted. Which I don't think it can. No. That is on block of amethyst. I don't think that can be decrafted. Copper can. That's getting sorted in, definitely. Uh, raw blocks. Because those can be decrafted as well. Crafting table. No. That can. Alright. Nope. Copper block and then the raw blocks. I think that's really it for like a materials chest. Because I do want to like stress test this thing, see if I might need to move Golem a bit further away. Because if I put, say, like a stack of coal blocks in here. Alright, I'm gonna do the copper tree. Or the 2 coal blocks, then the copper tree. And the 2 coal items in the copper tree. Then I'll do the entire iron set of items. Two lapis items. The various gold items. Emerald, the 2 emerald items, the 2 diamond items. Netherite. And 3 miscellaneous stuff. Actually, you know what else I missed in here? I missed obsidian. Because normally I put obsidian in that kind of chest. Because I don't pick up hordes and hordes of obsidian. I think that's a pretty good thing. That's right about what I would sort into this kind of chest. The raw variants I would probably sort out, cook them, and then put them back into the system. Using like a bamboo farm or kelp farm or something. But for just starting out raw, going into here and then you manually sort it out and then throw it back into the system. Yeah. I don't know. If I make a survival world or like a survival server or something, I'll probably make this full automatic. So where you put a raw ore in, it automatically brings it out, it smelts it, and then it throws it back into the system. Maybe it does that with raw foods as well, not just the 3 raw ores and ancient debris. Like I throw in a bunch of raw chicken or something into the system, it drags it out automatically. It throws it into, like it drags it out. It can throw it into a furnace or it can be 2 separate chests separating, but I'd probably just go with the furnace. It would like drag it out, throw it into like a 2, maybe 4 furnace system. And then it would smelt it all and throw it back into the system. Alright, let me throw a coal block in the corner. Actually, let me throw a whole stack of coal blocks in the corner. Wait. And you can even put like pages or something in all of these. And then leave like the first slot open or something. Actually, you know what I might do? Let me put all of these back with one item. And I'm gonna do just that, like you put... No, wait. Because then, if you're sorting out paper here, I forget. Put the iron blocks away. 57 coal blocks. Right, throw all that back in. Actually, I would say doing something like throwing dirt and priming it. I mean, even then, it's not that hard to do. Two, three. Obsidian. Now if I throw one item in. There. And if I throw in like a stack of coal blocks now, it might start to affect some of the other ones. We watch this. We'll open it eventually. I just have to keep an eye on the redstone. Make sure that none of the other torches. You gonna see the chest, right? I saw you open the chest before. You're gonna open it, don't worry. I don't really smack you or anything for opening it. Open the chest. That just reset the timer for that chest. I don't know. Drag everything else out. I'll just put it all in there. I just went on a giant mining trip. I put a ton in that. I put everything I got in that chest. Let's just say that happened. And I want to keep an eye on these. Make sure it's only this first one that's getting unlit. Because if any of the others are being unlit, that's kind of a problem. That can be solved with more blocks. Is this Pathfinder like broken when he's on a chest? Do I need a new one? Actually, a sword would be better. That way I don't hit things. Yep. Alright. Let me actually simulate a huge mining trip without stone and stuff, so that it's not just carrying one item. Let me actually simulate. Let me get a bucket of leaves. Probably would have been faster to just put it into the destroy item, but that's fine. Alright, so a stack of coal. I got a metric ton of copper. I got a bit of iron. Not that much gold. No emeralds. Some lapis. I found a small vein of diamonds. We'll just put it through this. Now that it's not just two stacks that are separated, it's like three stacks of copper in the same spot. I'll check the sorting chest, make sure it's not. I mean, you could use like a ton of pages or a filler. Say you're using sorting silos and it sorts out dirt. Alright, is it done with coal yet? Yeah, it's on the copper. This is actually holding up this chest in particular. Like you just put a ton of dirt in. Not fill every slot, leave a few slots. Um, enough slots so that the golem can still put the item in. Like with separate items of 16 stacks each, of stacks of 16 each, or items of stacks of 64 each. Okay, none of these other repeaters are on yet. This could actually hold up. The items would be entering at hopper speed too, because like it would be feeding over from silos, maybe through like water or something, but coming in through silos and then it goes it's processed through the multi-sorter, which on the survival world or server or whatever, that's actually how I'm going to do it. Is oh, he's on the diamonds. That's it. Nothing was broken. I have no idea. But yeah, what you can do is you can like leave the first however many slots empty. Yeah, and then just fill the rest in with a ton of dirt. Not hooking everything up until the dirt is in. That way you can whittle it down, and if there's too many items, then there's too many items. But like using cobblestone as a filler, or you can just do it like this, where where you fill some of these slots up. Like it doesn't have to be the bottom however many slots. It can just be fill the slots with the items that you want, fill in however many of these items that you need in order to get it to just under a signal strength of 3. Then you do that, and there you go, you have copper storage. This is only one chest. I'm only going to be building one chest right now because I'm too lazy. I want to get on to other farms. Um, but yeah, you can even... I might make like a wool chest or like a dye chest that instead of doing something like this, uses something like dirt as a filler, but functionally it's it's the same functional principle of you're just super loading the chest. The only issue with using dirt though is that you're filling these slots. So something where it's like half the chest or a little over half the chest, it should be fine. But something with dyes, like just wool alone, that's 32. That's like almost 4 full rows. So you might be able to get away with dirt, but that depends on how fast these slots can clear from a stack of 64 or a stack of 16 or something like that. It's even worse if you decide to include, like, with the higher filled chests, you might just want to do something like this. But with the lower filled chests, even something like this, you might be able to get away with using dirt filler rather than doing it this way, where you have to grab 9 stack, where you have to grab 20 stacks of copper and a little more. Instead of having to get that, you just gather a ton of dirt or a ton of cobblestone, because you're mining for all of this anyway. You use cobblestone as a filler, you use deep slate as a filler, you use dirt as a filler, you use sand as a filler, use something that's sorted out before as a filler. So you can use, like if you're sorting paper out in like an enchanting chest, before it would ever reach, say, this chest, you can even use something like paper to sort everything, because paper is an easily farmable block. And you can even do something like that with other easily farmable blocks, easily stackable. It doesn't even have to be paper. It can be like sugarcane, it can be kelp, it can be whatever. Just a filler block. Because a chest like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stacks minus 7. It's 7 stack 21 minus 7, so it's 7 stack 18. Not 18, 14 in this chest. You don't really want to gather 7 stacks of dirt specifically for this. Whereas if you have a farm, say a sugarcane farm, 7 stacks of sugarcane, depending on the farm, should only take like 1 night, maybe 2, if you have a good enough farm. And you just sort it out beforehand, maybe in a silo. Or maybe it's sorted out in a traditional sorter, one that's more specialized for this is from this farm, just sort it here, say it's an industrial district or something. But it's sorted out before it ever gets to main storage. So you can use a filler block. Alright, I want to pivot to like actual farms, not just copper storage. The description does say and various other, right? I think it does. Let's see. Yeah, various other Copper Age farms. Alright. So that works. So yeah, here's copper storage. Probably not the best. It's going to be the one that I use. And this is going to look a little cleaner when I build it. It'll go out and around, not connecting obviously. But yeah. And then like miscellaneous, maybe it's not miscellaneous, maybe it wasn't sorted in this section, so it just goes on to the next one. Alright, don't need that, I don't need copper chests, and I don't need barrels anymore. But yeah, this is just one module. Then you can take that module, make this not miscellaneous anymore, but take a hopper output, and then put it back into another copper chest. Ideally one that's far enough away from this guy if he's over here. But, I mean, he'll see he can't go to that copper chest and go to that one instead then anyway. But yeah. Forgot about tick speed, like tick warp. Alright, what am I gonna need for this next farm? I'm gonna go I'm gonna build an iron farm. I like building iron farms. I'll admit it. I need a zombie spawn egg, and I need zombie. There's zombie, and I need villager. There's Tim Lockwood. What the? Is it raining? There we go. Yeah, it was raining. Alright. Um, this one's gonna be simple. Simple iron farm. There we go. 20 blocks up. There's that. Um, hmm. I want this to be like a simple one that doesn't require going to the nether. But I don't know how that's gonna be possible. Maybe I put the dude in a boat and on a fence or something. Throw him in a boat on a fence. Let me get stone stairs and a bucket of water. Okay, good. The water does still work like that. And I might design a copper farm. Um, Ideally, I would want it that I might need these. I might need to push each of these back a block. That way, um, like the golem can't just stay here. It's actually forced to go down. But even then, I can use like trap doors, and there we go. He wants to walk down. So like a ring of 8 trap doors, and that'll be enough. The only thing is the water alone won't push him down. Alright, and this should be 5 by 5 centered here. So if I just do that, I should be in the middle of it. Perfect. Alright. That'll contain all the golems. And the kill chamber alone, it's really easy. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna try putting the dude on a fence in a boat this time. Let me block in there. That boat is just standing awfully high. No. Fence. Block. Boat. Break. I need better center the boat. And I don't have to be perfectly centered there. That's fine. Alright. Need beds. I forgot about the bed. So what I want is I want the villagers to be able to see them while they're sleeping. But then not see them. Or see them when they're awake. Yeah, see them when they're sleeping. But not see them when they're awake. So let me get real fast. I need a slab. Stone slab. Zombie. I have no idea what just happened. There we go. Alright, alright. That's his line of sight. Okay, so the... Alright. So now... Actually, there should work. Yeah, hold up. I might be onto something here. This music is actually kind of loud. I may be onto something. Daylight cycle, true. The other problem is I don't want this to be like a nocturnal farm. I think I'm gonna need to pitch these in by one block. Alright. So they can see the zombie. At night. They are not sleeping. I put the one there, go sleep. That'll create a nocturnal farm. What I could do is sort of slam around the back, and hopefully move to day if I set one down here. It won't be far enough, but I could set up like a chain or something. They can see from there. Really no full block prevents it from waking. Okay. Oh, whoa, wait. As long as this doesn't make a nocturnal farm, it's entirely good. So I already have 2 golems here now. I need sign. And I'll leave. There we go. Alright, alright, one moment.
Yo. You should check the meme I sent you. I was also gonna ask if you wanted to get on.
Why is there a phantom? This is the 3rd night. Game mode. Do insomnia false. Also want to design a phantom farm. Okay, yeah, that might.
I just took a big shat in the urinal.
I'm trying to kill this one. Die. 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 Please. Please. Alright, there we go. I am probably gonna leave the call. I mean, unless you want to help me design it, but I don't know how much iron farming, you know.
And how much help how much of a help I'll be since I don't even have Minecraft right now.
Yeah. Especially not the good version of mine. Already 20 ingots, wow.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I got 5 poppies.
You do not understand how much I want Java, man.
It is, without a question, the better version of Minecraft.
Yeah. No
The
question asked. Mod support.
Not even that, like the technical aspect of things. Redstone, it's not random. It's a little known fact, it's random on Bedrock, not random on Java. So it's random. It's like stuff like iron farms, it's easier to make. And to its credit in the farming scene, ground farms are a little easier to make since you can just tack it on top of a generic not iron farm, a generic mob farm. Whereas they are a little more difficult to create on Java. But there's a lot more farms that Java can make, like all the flying machine based farms.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more technical opportunity in Java than there is in Bedrock. I think that just comes down to implementation. Like if they made Redstone work, where it's not random, which it would really hinder performance. That's really the only bad thing about it, though.
Yeah. And maybe if they spent time to optimize the other aspects of their game, they could cancel that shit out and still have it run fine.
Yeah. Like, the main issue, like, even with Java, like, the main issue with it, and I will say it's an issue, is its optimization. It's optimization and its lack of multiplayer support, at least without realms, which are kind of bad, and external servers.
Yeah. But then again, there
Why
are
are the
quite a
arrows
bit
just
of.
bouncing off of the golem? Is it because he's already taking damage? What?
I mean, there is optimization mods that I'm pretty sure do work pretty well.
I used them. Oh, that's a piece of glass. Yeah, the only issue with this farm that I foresee right now, like if you go online, like on the stream, then it's a really simple design, but the main issue with it right now would be that it's nocturnal. And my aim is to create just a simple iron farm that can work pre-nether. So that's the biggest thing with this footprint of farm is it's usually
I'm
always at the nether stage of the game where you most
I'm pretty
likely
sure
have
there's
enough
a
iron
way
to
to
get
do
by.
it. There's a way to do it where with enough redstone repeater ticks, like it's a specific amount, and like an ender pearl stasis chamber, since those load chunks now, you can have it to where the zombie automatically like scares and lets the villagers sleep.
Yeah, like the problem with that I see is it's just overly complex. Like sure you can design your own thing, but
I'm pretty
even
sure it
then,
really isn't even that complex. It's just a bunch of repeaters hooked up to a piston that allows villagers to gain sight of a zombie on and off.
yeah, yeah, like but not a lot of people know of that. They just know villagers are scared by zombies and that's that. And like if
Yeah,
they're following
they
a
don't know.
tutorial, they don't need to know all of that. But like if they're
I
designing,
remember watching one video about it where like went in depth about the iron golem spawning process.
yeah, like this farm here that I'm testing out now is something more like a week one farm. Not like real life week one, real life day one, but like in game week one if you find a village fast enough.
Yeah.
Like that's my aim with this farm is it's simple enough that you can get it within your first few days of the game, within the first real life day. Um, I think the hardest part about it would be getting the zombie, but like material wise, I would say the hardest part would definitely be lava. Like
Yeah. It's either the zombie or finding a villager if you're really unlucky.
finding a village if you're unlucky, yeah.
Yeah, because with the zombie you can just set up a simple double trap door onto a block that makes them drop into a hole.
Or into a boat. Or you have like
Yeah.
diamond armor or something,
And just kind
and
of
you just
face tank
boat
it.
him in. Yeah. Face tank and boat him in onto the fence post. So you know how I said the farm was probably nocturnal? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not getting really any spawns during the day. So when the villagers are sleeping, they can see him when they're awake. Maybe I put like a carpet down instead. Let me get carpet. I also designed if you load in, I also designed copper storage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I don't have access to like Minecraft at all.
Oh, not even Bedrock?
No, my tablet broke
Oh.
like a while back. Yeah,
Uh,
screen went kaboom.
hmm.
But that's the only part that was damaged, so I'm hoping I can get it
Alright.
repaired soon.
Let me reset it tonight. That way I can build out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
Do you think maybe later on you can
after, yeah,
hop on?
definitely.
Yeah.
After, definitely. But right now I'm too focused on iron farms. Let me set it back to day and see if this works. They walk forward. Um, no, I'm not getting any spawns really. Yeah, I'm like not not getting really any spawns here. So, think maybe back to the drawing board on this one. Um, should do a bottom slab next to the bed. No, because that'll just put him in line of sight more. If I put a block underneath, maybe something with their AI is going bonkers. I need full blocks under where they're be standing. No. Let me try that. No. Might have to raise the zombie. Alright, I'm gonna leave the call then.
All right.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one. I, maybe. Oh! Alright, boat. Boat. A zombie. all 3 of the villagers just drop. That one goes there. Delete. Can I put a boat on that block now? Boat. There we go. Zombie is on the boat. Now I'm gonna get these villager eggs back. Are they still able to see the zombie? They might still be able to see the zombie. They run toward the zombie. Yeah, maybe the bottom slab does need a block under it. Like a top slab, and it's just weird how it works. Or I do 2 away, because that villager moved when I went 2 blocks away. No. Yeah, I don't want like ridiculous hallways either. Does that work? No. No, they're just constantly scared. They also haven't slept. Alright, so night. Night. Still. Maybe he has to be on the fence. Maybe he does have to be on the fence post. Or like a block with a trapdoor on it. Or something. So yeah, when they're... Not that way, not that way. Back. Back. Far enough where you can't see him. So that you can't... So that you can sleep. Sleep. Please. Sir. Must be the positioning of the zombie. Let's shift it that way a little bit. But very much that way. And more. Let me put a boat. Paint. Last paint. Line the boat up. No, that is too far in one direction. How centered is that block? No. I need like a fence. Fences, same issue as glass panes. Walls, maybe? Walls are thicker. They also do have the corner pillars. Now how centered is that? Um, no. I'm just gonna have to eyeball it. Does work in its current form now. Um, alright, wildly off the block. Cool. It's F2 again. I keep pushing the screenshot button. So they spawn on that block. What if I keep them on that block? But then, can I spawn them on the lower block? Like if I put a slab there with a piece of carpet, go to bed, they spawn there instead, and they're able to run onto the bed, but I make it so that with the bed, they can't see zombie. So that on the bed, so that they panic. Maybe I have to flip this whole thing and just make the villagers one further out, which that's fine. But then I flip the whole thing. Like I flip it so that the villager wakes up in front, and then they go up, and they're not able to see the zombie anymore, and they sleep. So the farm works at night, as it is now. Let me go into studio and change the name. If I can. Uh, well, I cannot see that I am live on the app. No, I don't want to use your premium. Don't tell me I have to open browser, because that here on the computer, because that's gonna be memory leak. No, I just don't know. I can't change it, and I'm not going on to the absolute memory leak that is a browser. So I'm just gonna have to put up with the name. I mean, even with a farm like this, you could even use the copper storage and just sort the outputs of the farm into chests, and there you go, entirely pre-nether sorting system. This is still pretty limited, sure, but yeah. But at that point, why would you just not put it into one chest? I mean, maybe to save on space. But if you want to craft, like, iron, then you're gonna need to go to the nether. Like, iron blocks, I mean, you're gonna need to go to the nether. Uh, that zombie. Yeah, he's fine. Alright, so they see him, they run up. They can no longer see. Actually, I think what I do is I do like a full block there. No, because that'll disable the sleeping at night. They can still sleep. I'm pretty sure villagers fall asleep. Time set noon. I'm pretty sure villagers, they sleep before players. So as long as the farm is loaded, let me go back to this design. So like you can't be AFK. Like you can be AFK. Um, but keep it, but I want this at a point where like it can get golems during the day. Like it's not getting any golems during the day right now. That's the problem, is that you don't get golems during the day, and I think it's because they're still being scared by the zombie. I think they need their panic timer to go down. Um, Chains have worked in the past, but they require iron. I don't want to use chains. The slabs. So go F3B. The villager. That that's a slab bud. So the villager, I think it's because the weird slab logic. He still sees the zombie. Wait, wait. stepping back now. Quite a bit from just testing. What I might... What I could do is I could do like a giant platform. Like a giant, real small, skinny platform. That the golem just spawns and immediately drops out of range, and then use 5 villagers with the zombie. And then those 5 villagers either spawn from gossiping, or they spawn the golem from panicking with the zombie. But I think the problem is they know this block is, like, they remember somehow that block you can see the zombie. Like, they remember, hey, wait a minute, I could see a zombie from that block, but they can't see it from here. And so they won't go to that block. I don't know if they do remember or not. They might. The villagers are staying up there because there's nothing to pathfind to. And I think this is where workstations can come into play. Because you set a workstation down there. Could be the carpet too. Could be the carpet. Let me turn it into a slab. It was probably equally as buggy. Let me get carpets on top of here. Yeah, the problem is that they're not panicking. So maybe with their workstations during the day, they work, which means they don't panic. Actually, I don't want them nothing but panicking. Up, wait. They're not panicking. Okay, okay. And they're not panicking, but they don't move back down. Wait a minute. Then the issue is they can't see the zombie, and so they'll never go back down. Setting it off to the side, with a carpet on top, of course. There's a golem. That's good. That's good. That's good. And it doesn't even have to be a fletching table. It can be something like a composter. They're not panicking right now, which is a problem. I need them to go where they can't see it, but to get to it, like they can't access it, but they need to panic to get to it. But hold on a minute. Just had a golem. What I'm doing is set a bed down and test, make sure villagers. I'm pretty sure villagers they sleep before players can. Alright, so that one I think just worked. So they are panicking, some of them. They're not moving at the same time. That's another golem. I think I might have just made this work on accident. Actually, not on accident, because I wanted the villagers to, you know, work. So what happens is, during the workday, like, ideally, the villagers would end up getting scared. Yeah, wait, I just realized copper chains exist. The chain, copper chain, because chains, it's a little more expensive than copper carbon, going up from 0. Slightly more expensive, but copper is also really abundant of a resource, so like 1 copper vein will get you all the copper chains that you need for this project. So unless you're like stupid unlucky and can't find a cave, then you'll be fine. But now the problem is they're always panicking. You get back up to there. I don't even think. Wait. Whoa. Get off of there, please. Sir? Okay. Alright. They might be able to still see him through the chain, and that's the problem. Let me try setting them all like this, not. Try setting them all like that. Now they're too scared to sleep. So they can't sleep now. Which is even more of a problem because the farm doesn't work, period. Just Alright, hold on. Because, yeah, they are able to sleep. They're able to sleep, and they step back. But does that work if it's just any old block? Yes, it does. Hold on. This may have just been what I needed. And then carpets on top to make sure they don't spawn there and ruin everything. So it doesn't even have to be a workstation, it can be a regular block, like a wood plank. And now I think it might work. You set it to noon. They're not running up anymore, and that's the problem. Is they're not being scared during the day, but during the night they'd be too scared to sleep with chains. Set the chains back, make them horizontal. The slab under. Slab under, and that'll let them sleep. Or is that breaking their line of sight as well? Do I need a... I might need a... If I double chain it... Hold on, double chain it. I might have to make them go one block further out. But yeah, there's golems now. Now let's see, are they too scared to sleep still? Because I don't want them too scared to sleep, but I want them to still panic during the day. Because then if they're still panicking during the day... Like, they need to panic during the day, but they also need to be at a point where... Because, yeah, if they're panicking during the day, then golems can spawn during the day. But at night, you still want them to be able to sleep. And if they can't sleep, then no golems will spawn at all. Not even just during the night. It's one thing if a farm only works at night, it's another thing if a farm is broken altogether. Maybe a... Wait a minute, chain with carpet on it. Or double carpet on the bed. Let me see if I sleep with it like this first. Because then I can copy all of this over, because this works. To, like, a sufficiently far enough farm to be independent and test carpets, or even change one of these guys to carpets. Because I need all three to sleep, but I also want to ideally keep it as cheap as possible. Alright, one second. Apologize about that. That was someone asking me a question, and they are not sleeping. Carpet time. Alright, double carpet works. Double carpet works. Hold on. Might be onto something here. Hold up. So double carpet lets them sleep. Double carpet lets them sleep. And it looks like they're balancing between panicking and not panicking. Like they're panicking, but then they fall back down to not panic. But then they go back to panicking. The time's set noon. And they stand up, they don't fall back. Wait a minute. I may have just cracked the code. I think I have to keep the zombie. Like the zombie has to be in a precise location. Like I don't think I can keep him in a boat or anything like that. I think it has to be like in a block or something. Or like in a minecart. I really don't want him in a minecart though. I really don't want the zombie in a minecart. But it should work. Maybe if I keep them from going head-butting against the carpet, like maybe put another thing of carpet down. But that would keep them from sleeping, I think. Maybe. Move, sir. Does that work? Maybe. I'm gonna try to keep it cheap. I want to see if I can move that block in by one to save on some blocks. That's why the music is so loud. Guess I turned it up and I just didn't realize it because C418 tracks are softer. So the issue now is they're butting heads. It's like they're just walking right. Let me get a spyglass and put it. Put it in the offhand. So that now I have a zoom. I can't zoom out though, or in. There's a lot of husks. So the problem is they're going right up against the carpet, and they're not panicking as a result. So I think I need this 2 sets of double carpet maybe, or like 1 set that's a little further back. Because right now they're just kind of chilling. Until I remove that carpet, then they're still just kind of chilling. So when they're standing on the head of the bed, yeah, that top carpet is breaking the line of sight. So I need to prevent them. Maybe if I make that a workstation this time, during the day, they'll have an incentive to travel backward, which as a result, they'll start panicking. And then boom, this thing will work during the day. Does it suck that it requires workstations? Sure. Does it suck that it only works when they're working? Sure. But it might work. go to day, which should be working time for villagers. Soon they'll start walking toward their stations to start working, and they'll start panicking. So there are still downtimes. Actually, let me go to night. And yes, they can still sleep. So the problem is they're standing on the head of the bed. Which if I do another double carpet, that'll prevent them from going forward. But actually, we might be able to just push the whole thing back. And the same issue arises. So now that I've confirmed they're sleeping, you go back to day, and then I'll have to wait a little bit. So yeah, they're walking all the way forward onto the head of the bed, and that's the issue. Don't really see a way to stop them. Maybe using chains? Like put a chain on that top carpet, and that'll like... Maybe. That might keep them from going forward too much. Because the problem is that top carpet is breaking their line of sight. But as long as they are not standing on the head of the bed, I gotta stop them from standing on the head of the bed. Maybe if I set a chain on the head of each bed. They're all working. No, I don't think this is it either. So they're all working. I don't think they see the zombie from there either. It's that carpet again. I don't think a chain is going to be any better. Wait. Wait. It might be. So that'll incentivize the villagers to walk backward. The chain will keep them... No, not with the way that it is. Hmm. So there are golems spawning, so they are panicking. It's because there's points in the line of sight. Now that they are panicking, I want to see if I can cheapen this up a little bit by removing that carpet. So it's one vertical chain over the foot of the bed. And then obviously I can remove the floor blocks under those. Wait, the solution was right in front of me this whole time. Hold on. You don't want them constantly panicking either. Night, they can sleep. And they won't ever go onto the head of the bed now, but they can still sleep. And now if it's set to day, they're still walking to the head of the bed. Except for this guy, he actually understands how villager. Nope. No, so I think the idea. Move. Sir, please move. Thank you. They're just gonna sit on top of that. And they're not gonna sleep. Rip it down there, doesn't work. So the double carpet. If I do something like that, put carpet on it so golem doesn't spawn there. And go back to double carpeting the bed. But just make it so that villagers can't jump up. Put a block under the head of the bed so that they can still walk forward onto the head of the bed. They have an incentive to walk backward, and they're not sleeping. This is the pain that is Iron Farm. So they're not walking toward the head of the bed. If I put their station up here, then they won't be able to see through at all. So they're not sleeping. I said it today, they're not walking up to the head of the bed. So I don't think they can pathfind to the head of the bed. To make that a full block now, can they? The one under the bed, too. There we go. I think it's set. It has to be a full. I think it has to be a full under the bed. And a slab, a top slab. Here. And there we go. When it comes to working time, they'll pathfind back down. Oh, that's one. That's one. There we go. They'll pathfind. They should, in theory, pathfind back down so that they can access their workstation. But in pathfinding down, they'll have line of sight with the zombies, so they'll be scared right back up. I think this top one is slab instead, maybe. They can't see that now? What? I want them to, like, not walk onto the block. I'll put a carpet back on there. Because when they walk onto the block... When they walk on the block, things break. Is the problem. Okay, hold on. Let me make it night so I can build. And now they won't be able to walk back on. They can still sleep by going to the head of the bed. And then they're incentivized to go to the foot of the bed during the day so that they can, panic. Because when they're not panicking, they're going to try to go. They're going to try to work. They can't. They start panicking. And then they go right back up to the head of the bed, which is the only valid location to run to. And then they stop panicking. And then they go to sleep. And they wake up. And they start panicking during the night. But then during the day, they sit on there for a little bit. a little bit in the afternoon and a little bit in the afternoon too. But then when they start working, they're incentivized. They're incentivized to go to the back. And in going to the back, they see the zombie and they start panicking. Now, this isn't completely. This isn't the greatest farm. This is a farm that's really built to be real life day one simple. And like these can be anything. They can be fletching tables, they can be composters. Heck, if you have enough iron, they could be blast furnaces. Doesn't matter as long as they're incentivized to go back down. The farm will work during the day. And even then, with those slabs there, you could probably even knock those carpets. So it's just place down the bed, place down a temporary block, and then place down a bottom slab. And those carpets, all of the that are sitting on the fletching tables, those can all be removed. And you'll even see if these are regular blocks, maybe they will keep pathfinding to that block. They'll random pathfind, which will definitely, which will either slow down or stop the farm, since they flag that block as being a block that they can see a zombie from. The reason that I'm using workstations, in this case a fletching table, is because with that you have to rely on RNG. You're more reliant on RNG with that. Whereas if you use a workstation, like, and it's just that villager too, these other two aren't even moving at all. So with the workstations, you'll see that all three, this one was always moving, but yeah, you'll see that all three of the villagers, all three of them begin moving. Because now they're incentivized to go toward that workstation during the work hours of the Minecraft day. They're incentivized to go toward the workstation, which means they start panicking during the day, which means that golems start spawning during the day, which means I have a farm. Wow. Well, so yeah, it's just a zombie in a boat or a minecart if you have enough iron, sitting on top of a block that can also be a slab. It really doesn't matter. There's 2 blocks of space. Then there's a block to keep the zombie from burning in the sunlight, but you also want to make sure golems can't spawn on it. In this case, I'm using a slab. And I bet this even works on any version from 1.14. I'll have to go into a creative world where it's just this farm. I'll have to build it and then go back in time, because this uses everything from 1.14. Nothing from 1.16, nothing from the Copper Age. And I'll list down all of the versions that it works on, or all the version ranges that it works on. So like 1.20, 1.9, maybe it works on 0.8 as well, maybe it works on 1.14. Maybe it only begins working on 1.16 when they made some minor changes to villagers and iron golem spawning. Maybe it works on 1.17, 1.18. But yeah, because this only uses 1.14 things, don't quote me on this, it might be able to work from 1.14 on until they do a major overhaul of villagers again. And everything here, the most expensive part, probably, and like the blocks, all those blocks can be dirt, they can be stone, they can be cobblestone. Ideally something that Enderman can't, move. The stairs, those are fairly simple. You could even build a farm out of wood entirely. The most expensive part, and this is also the most RNG reliant part, would be all the wool. So like the 3 carpets, there's 3 beds, which you already have villagers, unless you got them from zombie villagers. These, unless you got these from zombie villagers, you'll have beds from a village anyway. And in this design, like in this design specifically, you need the workstations. Otherwise, the farm more than likely will not work. Yeah, and that's about it. Because they're incentivized to go away from the zombie because they're not panicking, but then they start panicking, so they go to the only other valid location. And this farm is built. This isn't built to be a ridiculous farm. It's not built to be the single best farm that anyone and their grandma should build. This isn't meant to be like that #1 rated farm. This isn't meant to be something that gets me into Psycraft or something like that. This is meant to be a day 1 farm. Or not even day 1. You heard it when I was on the call. A week 1 farm. Can you tell that I like designing iron farms? But yeah. This most likely works in older versions as well. All the way down to 1.14, because before 1.14, like in 1.13 and down, it was always just door spam. Door spam, and that's a villager breeder, and that's also an iron farm. And in 1.14, they became a lot simpler, and I think there's an earlier prototype of this design. It's actually one of the first Minecraft videos I made. There's an earlier prototype of this design. It's broken now. It only works during the night. It doesn't have the workstations. But yeah. It also used a giant slab, so I made it exponentially cheaper in this case. Once Lightmatica, I can build this in 121.8 Lightmatica and get a Lightmatica a schematic for this. And totally optional, you can also put a lightning rod somewhere that your villagers or even the zombie, they won't get, they won't get hurt from lightning. So you can even set up a lightning rod somewhere far enough away that nothing gets hit. You could even put it in this like 4th section over here so that nothing will get hit, but it'll divert lightning over to the lightning rod. That way it doesn't shut off because everything turned into witches. Another cool thing about this, I don't think entities in boats will ever despawn. They might, and I'll have to test set myself in this version, but they might not despawn in a boat. Which will make this even better because it doesn't need that name tag. It doesn't need that, 1 in, I don't know, whatever chance. I think it's like 20% or something. That the zombie can collect gear, and then you just give him a leather cap or something like that. Give him a piece of gear so that he doesn't despawn. You just need the boat, and that's it. You just need the boat. And, like, you might be able to, like, put the block down one and then put the zombie on a fence or something like that. Put him on a fence, keep him in somehow. And you might be able to do it with that. But in the current design, it uses a boat. This design is meant to be really simple. I might release a tutorial soon. I think first I'm going to test what versions it'll work on. And then I'll, make a tutorial on this. So I think I am going to make a tutorial on this. Yeah. Right now I'm just testing this iron farm that I built. If you look in the description, it does say various other farms. That's the basic system for the copper storage. He hasn't had much to do. I only put one thing in here. But you can put whatever you want in here. It's just regular basic storage. And then yeah, a ridiculously simple iron farm. What are you groaning at? What all these guys? They like my iron farm that much. I'm just kind of playing tennis with these husks right now. Or golf, I guess. I mean, you could probably build this like one block down and then put a bunch of trapdoors on it. And then you got all your... Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it for this iron farm. I wanted to build a copper farm, but I don't have the time right now. I'm gonna get myself some food. It's 6:16 right now. I wanna get myself some food. So, yeah. Tutorial for this will release soon. It's real simple of a farm. I might look to optimize it a little bit, like maybe throw the workstation into the floor here. Yeah, do just minor optimization work to make it as simple and as cost efficient as possible. Also, the hour-long tests, maybe not even hour-long, like 15-minute test to estimate around how much iron per hour this will get. I will say it definitely works best during the night. You're gonna get the best rates during the night, but during the day, it's not nothing. Actually, let me test that by setting it to the day. Yeah, during the day, at first, and I think at like noon-ish maybe, What if I time set 0? What's 0? There. 0 is right when the villagers wake up. Okay. So like 0, sunrise, and then, yeah. Do one final test, make sure during the day it's not nothing. Some, it will be, the rates will be lower during the day because it's only a specific portion of the day that the farm really works for, but it does work during the day as long as the villagers are sleeping at night. And as long as they don't turn into witches, because in one of my previous iron farms that I built in survival, they got struck by lightning and I didn't know. I was AFK at the time. And so when they were struck by lightning, they all turned into witches, I went too far away and they despawned. Yeah, getting new villagers up in here isn't fun, so you most likely... There goes the memory leak again. Screen to black. Wait. I'm back. Minecraft just crashed. Minecraft just crashed. Yeah, let me make sure that this works. Let me make sure this works during the day and it's not just fluke. That's what I'm trying to make sure of here. I think at this point it did autosave. If not, it's a really simple design to build. It should not take me that long to rebuild it. It would take me a little bit if I was using Upper Age Creative. Let's edit, save, delete, recruit, back. The Discord note was in my way. The Discord notification of you are playing a game. Would you like to go live? Okay, so it did save here. Time probably just went back a little bit. That's entirely fine. I don't know, I'm glad this thing didn't shut off. I was right near the end of the stream anyway. So, yeah. So, one thing I want to try to fix is a full block under the bed. Is there something else that I can put under the bed? But I think that is going to have to remain a full block. The main thing I want to try is putting that there. So replacing that slab with the workstation. Meaning the villager still does have to go back down to access the workstation. And then they'll start panicking. And yeah, there we go. It wasn't a fluke. There's a golem down there that just killed a husk. Yeah, see? The golem's hungry now. Someone go feed him a piece of chicken, he's hungry now. The lone creeper. But yeah, it's not a fluke. The farm does still produce during the day. It is just... It is at a lower rate than at night, so... At night, you are going to receive the best rate of iron, but during the day, especially during the morning, like mid-morning to afternoon-ish. I'm gonna have to see where the sun ends up when they stop working. But yeah, like mid-morning-ish to like mid-afternoon, maybe. Early mid-afternoon in-game. That'll be when the daytime rates are at its peak. But the rate of the farm will be at its peak during the night. So at night, you are going to receive the best rates and also the most consistent rates. So if it's a challenge, say it's a challenge run, it's Minecraft, but it's constantly night, Or like Minecraft, but it's yeah, Minecraft, but it's constantly night. It'll be fun getting villagers set up, but iron farms like this will work spectacularly. Yeah, like mid-morning, sun's around there, maybe. That's the first time I heard you actually work. They've just been too panicky. But yeah, that's the one thing that I want to try to optimize is I can actually do that now, but I don't want to. I don't know. I want to optimize some things to make it cheaper to build and run the farm. Um, it's already very cheap. It's already very almost day one iron farm as it currently stands. I'm just gonna call this a week one iron farm. It's gonna either be built on the ground in a flat area, say a plains, maybe, and just dig a giant hole, or a not so giant hole and suffer the consequences of lower rates. Yeah, you can see the guy in the back. Yeah, so what? Yeah. And I'll even go into finer detail of how it works, like in the tutorial video. So it'll be like what's the farm, how does it work? Here's the material list, and this, and here is the actual construction of it. Um, the tutorial will be an airborne version, but I will say you can instead build it on the surface. Like all of these water platforms can be on the surface of the world. Um, and you can either dig down or, only dig down the 3 blocks that you need for that. Um, yeah. The materials will stay the same, whether you build it where the water is at the surface and that is just right there, whether it's mined all the way down. You're going to need some pickaxes for that, but mined all the way down or you build it up high. But I will be showing the building up high variant of the farm, but I will also explain how you can put it on the surface and either dig down an equal number of blocks and yeah, dig down an equal number of blocks, which is 20. 20 and 9, that's 180 blocks. So yeah, a copper pickaxe should cover that. 2 stone pickaxes. That is actually fairly cheap. I might show that one instead. And be like 2 stone pickaxes, 1 copper pickaxe or equivalent. Basically meaning like if you have an iron pickaxe that's all pretty much new, you'll be perfectly fine to build this farm. Yeah. The only thing with building it on the surface is that, like, everywhere. The golem can spawn anywhere, and it can take a bit for him to notice a zombie. So on the surface, there'll be slightly lower rates, and I'll even explain that in the video too. Like, well, yeah, like mid-morning to mid-afternoon, and then from there just drops like a rock until sunset. But yeah, that'll just about do it. That's the iron farm, I guess. I guess I can do slash tick sprint uh, a day, sure. Sprint for a day. You can see this farm work during a tick sprint. Yeah, you can see it works really well during the night. And you'll even see that at sunrise, rates just absolutely drop like a rock. And then you get to mid-morning and then the rates come up again until they once again drop like a rock. And there, they dropped like a rock again. 364 ticks per second, 2.7 milliseconds a tick. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically the cycle of the farm is sunrise, rates drop like a rock. Mid-morning, rates spike. Mid-afternoon, rates drop. And then sunset, rates spike up again because the villagers are going back to sleep. But yeah, that'll